Hi, my name is Nikki Morrow with To the Moon and Back Behavioral Consulting, and today I'd like to pass on a strategy that I teach all the parents that I work with and that I practice myself with my young daughter, and that is that success is in the preparation. So, with the weather heating up and our summer approaching, our social calendars are going to be filling up and for some of us exploding. So we want to make sure that we, prepare ourselves and our kids who get drug along for the ride, whether they like it or not, most of the time, for success. And to do that, to really express to you the importance of this, is to kind of take a second to, put yourself in the place of a child. A child has no say of where they go, when they go, how they go, and it can seem very overwhelming for them. A lot of times they feel like a purse or an accessory if, there's not proper communication and explanation for them. And, they feel overwhelmed. They feel, it could be overwhelmed. It could be, anxious. It could be overstimulated. It could be overexcited. And all of these things, if, we don't do something to prepare them beforehand, can lead to behaviors that we deem, crazy and unacceptable and very challenging to maneuver in the situation that we're in, especially if we're in public, especially if there's a lot of people around. So the best way to do it is to prepare ahead of time, so that your children don't feel so anxious, don't feel so overwhelmed and overstimulated, and you guys can come up with an action plan together for if they do start to feel fearful, anxious, or overwhelmed, overstimulated, what they can do, what you can do together to help each other out. So where this starts is basically if it's anything outside of your child's daily routine, something that's typical for them, you want to make sure that you set them up for success. You want to let them know, first of all, what to expect in that situation, what is expected of them, what if there's any rules around the situation, like they need to stay within your sight, or they need to be able to see you at all times, you need to be able to see them at all times. Whatever the rules are for you, you want to make sure that those are clear to them so that they know what's expected of them. And then also, again, be clear of the consequences for if they're not going to follow the rules. Does this mean that you might have to leave the party, or maybe you're at the grocery store and they want to walk by themselves, but they're touching everything? So then your rule is, if you start touching everything, or if you go off on your own and I don't see you, then you're going to have to sit in the shopping cart. Your choice. So again, it kind of follows all the guidelines and the parameters that I've already spoken to you about in a lot of my previous video blogs. And that is just being very clear and upfront of what the expectations are for them, what the consequences will be. And, this is a step further because it expresses, you're explaining to them what to expect in this situation. Anywhere from going to Disneyland, there's going to be a lot of people there. Some of the rides might be scary. Some of the rides might be dark. If you're scared, you can hold my hand. You can cover your eyes. You can give me a big squeeze. You want to be able to have these conversations so that you can brainstorm with your child, solutions that are good, rather than ways that they would act out in a negative way. You want to make sure that you come up with productive solutions. And so, that way your child is kept in the loop. There's a conversation. Another thing that I want to make sure that you're aware of, if you're not already, which I'm sure you probably are, is that children feed off of your feelings. They feed off of your emotions, and they sense it. You don't have to even say anything. They sense it. There's this connection. So you want to make sure that you kind of talk about your positive feelings. You express your positive feelings to them, but you also, don't necessarily sugarcoat or highlight the negative feelings, but you're open and honest about it, because they can sense it anyways. So, if you have any fears about the upcoming situation, talk to them about it, express it, say, I'm kind of nervous. Like, how do you feel? So, that's the gist of this, that strategy is just really preparing your child ahead of time. So if you found this interesting and helpful, please share it and pass it on. The more that we help other parents, the better. We are a village here. We're creating a village here. So I hope that you found this interesting. And if you did, or if you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave me any comments or questions or anything that you'd like to say. So thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it. And stay tuned for, basically I recently went to an international trip. So if you want to hear the details and nitty-gritty of how I put this into practice with my own daughter, please stay tuned for the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.